Okay, so I just got to Vienna. I'm in my hotel room now. I'm here for 2.5 days, and I'm on a mission to do as much as I can in the next 2.5 days without spending a ridiculous amount of money, which is usually what I do when I go on trips. Even by myself, I spend way too much money. So when I was planning this trip, I found out that I had this 50 euro note that was left over from the last time I went to Europe. And so my challenge for the next 2.5 days is to try to do as much as possible, including my food and my activities, just with this 50 euros. I'm going to try to do as much in Vienna as I can. I'm also going to Bratislava in Slovakia tomorrow. That also includes the money I'm spending in Bratislava for lunch. And I'll talk a little bit more. There are a few exceptions that I sort of cheated myself, but I'll explain along the way and try to document everything I spend and keep track of how much I'm spending. So hopefully the challenge will be a success. I won't go tremendously over budget and try to stick within 50 euros. Wish me good luck.
After getting to the city center and walking around a little bit, my first stop was the House of Austrian History Museum, which is located in part of the old Hofburg Palace.
Thank you.
I paid 7 euros for a discounted ticket after showing my student ID. It was a little bit more than I hoped to pay, especially so early on in my trip, but after seeing the inside of the palace, it was, I think, absolutely worth it. After spending some time in the museum, I continued on to exploring more of the city center of Vienna. Now's a good time to talk about the first of the exceptions to the 50 euro rule, which is a 72-hour transit ticket for the subway and the trams in Vienna that helped me so much getting around while I was there. There you go. My first food stop in Vienna was at Café Coop, which is one of the classic coffee houses in Vienna, where I ended up getting a Braune, which is an espresso with a little bit of milk on the side, as well as the classic Apfelstrudel. After some more walking around, it was time for the first planned event of the trip, which was at the Vienna State Opera House, a production of Tosca. I got tickets for 30 euros at the very, very top balcony, and while it's not counting towards my 50 euros, I still highly recommend it if you're visiting Vienna.
Day 2. Let's go.
Today's early morning wake up justified the 4 euros I spent on coffee and a pretzel at the train station as I prepared to go from Vienna to Bratislava for a day trip. I got round-trip tickets from the Austrian rail company that also included transit in Bratislava for only 18 euros, so I think it was super worth it for a day trip, but something I'm not counting towards my 50 euros. After getting to Bratislava and taking the bus into the city center, I did some walking around before heading to the old city hall building to visit the Bratislava City Museum. I got a student discount for my ticket, so my ticket only cost 2 euros and 50 cents and allowed me to go to the museum and also climb the city hall clock tower.
Here we go. You don't know how tempted I am to pull that rope, because it goes up to the bell tower, but I'm not going to, I think.
My second activity in Bratislava was a free walking tour that I found on freetour.com that covered a lot of the city and also went up to Bratislava Castle. It was finally time for lunch, so I went to the place that I'd scoped out to get some authentic Slovakian food. I got strapatski, which are potato dumplings with bacon and sauerkraut that were amazing, and an espresso and a glass of wine, all for under 12 euros, so I highly recommend this place, U Sedliaka. After lunch, it was time to catch the bus and head back to the train station to go back to Vienna.
Okay, so I'm about halfway through and I have less than 20 euros left. So, not going the best, but I think the things that I've done, I've really enjoyed. I have a plan for how I'm going to spend the rest of the money and be able to leave here tomorrow with having done a lot and having eaten enough. Probably not as much as I want to eat, but it's okay.
So part of my spend less money strategy is to do as much for free as possible and then skip out on the things that you have to pay for. One of them is a lot of the advertisements around this palace, the Schönbrunn, is about the interior, the apartments, CC, whatever, but the courtyard and the gardens of the palace, most of the gardens are free. So that's where I am right now. And this is enough for me. Enough for a little 30-minute walk around the gardens. And yeah, then I check off Schönbrunn. I think I'm lost. So I'm at the top of the hill. It's across from Schönbrunn. Here is the Gloriette. And it was looking like it was going to rain through the end of the day here in Vienna, but it stopped and the sun came out for a little bit, and that was super awesome because basically there's like no one here. So for nothing, for €0, you get this, which I think is pretty unbeatable. Now I'm on the hunt for some schnitzel. Okay, scratch that. Instead of schnitzel, because I didn't have time, I got myself a hot dog. Okay, I kind of cheated, bought this on my card, but I think it's worth it, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Basically, I think the actual price was around €7, but 2 of that was fund, which is a deposit that you get, and if you return the plastic cup at the end, you get that €2 back. Anyways, here I am at the SK Rapid Wien against Sturm Graz football game, which I paid €20 for. The game was great, even though Rapid lost, and the seats were literally in the first row with the student discount. But after that, I just headed back to the hotel.
Day 3, let's go.
Okay, so I am here at Schloss Belvedere. It's day 3 in Vienna,
I think we've gotten so much done already, so I'm not really too worried about what we do today. I'm going to try to do as much as I want to do, and then that's that. Of course, I need to get schnitzel before I leave the city. And yeah, I'm going to try to explore a little bit outside of the historical central part of the city, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, just finished lunch. Had a huge schnitzel. It was exactly what I needed. Only cost $11.40 in total with water. And yeah, that means I'm officially out of cash. But that's okay because I have free stuff planned for the rest of the afternoon. And yeah, I think, I'm not going to say it yet, but I think I've done pretty well. And yeah, I'm good on food for now.
To finish out my time in Vienna, I headed to Café Alt Wien and I had a Wiener Melange, which is a latte and a chocolate cake that I was told was similar to Sachertorte. So that's it for Vienna. In total, I ended up spending 64 euros in cash on things like food and museum tickets. I went over the 50 euro limit, of course, but still had a lot of change from the last time I went to Europe, so I was able to pay for that in cash. But still, I think showed how you can sort of nickel and dime here and there, especially with student discounts and also looking at what the daily specials are for restaurants. They have cheaper dishes there. That's how I was able to get schnitzel for only 10 euros. In total, including things like the train ticket, the transit ticket, opera, and the soccer match, I spent 153 euros, which is still less than I thought I was going to spend, so I'm very happy about what I was able to get done. And overall, it was a great trip to Vienna and to Bratislava, and hope to get back to both of those cities hopefully soon. See ya.